Você já ouviu falar de resiliência, né? Todo mundo diz, você tem que ser mais resiliente. Eu vou deixar aqui na tela o conceito. Se você não sabe, você precisa saber e ter na ponta da língua o que é resiliência. Provavelmente em alguma entrevista de emprego vão te perguntar. Mas eu tô aqui com o Henrique Bueno e com a Maria. A Maria é americana e o Henrique é brasileiro e eles são especialistas em psicologia positiva. E a Maria é uma das maiores estudiosas do mundo no assunto resiliência. Então vem comigo que a gente vai te mostrar o que mudou nesse conceito. Já existe uma questão que já foi ultrapassada na resiliência. A Maria pesquisa muito e ela vai falar bastante sobre esse tema.
This is Thais Starker.
Hi, Thais.
Hi. Hi, Maria. I'm so happy to be with you, to be talking here. And I would like to thank you very much for your time. I know how busy you are with your lectures and training around the world, so I'm very happy, very thankful to be with you. For our Brazilian audience, could you tell us a little bit more about your history in positive psychology? And what are you doing these days in positive psychology as well?
It is such an honor to be with you this morning, Thais and Henrique. Thank you so much. So I teach and travel around the globe positive psychology. My specialty in that field is resilience. Now, positive psychology essentially is the study of human beings at their best. And so my focus is who we are at our best when times are stressful, very difficult.
Okay.
And if you can, just for the Brazilian audience, tell us a little bit, how did you get into this topic of resilience in your professional history prior to positive psychology?
So my early years as a clinical psychologist, I worked with children who were facing illnesses that were life-threatening, such as cancer and other blood diseases. And I noticed that there were families who were facing this terrible moment who actually grew as a family. And it was both beautiful and surprising to me. And it engaged in me a question, what do they know? I mean, how is it possible to become a better human being in the worst moments? What do they know? And how can we teach that? And so from the beginning of my career, I've been interested in that question. When positive psychology came along to add to psychology science, more data, more science, more exploration of what it means to thrive in life, it sort of broadened my question to how can we thrive even when, you know, we don't like the person we work for, or we're having a difficult time in our marriage, or we want to start a new business, but it feels very daunting, right? How can we thrive in those moments?
Okay. Do you have a whole course in resilience, right? An online course.
I do. So through Whole Being Institute, I have a 5-week study course online called the Resilient Quest, which we offer once a year. And in the year-long training, or the 9-month training rather, certificate in positive psychology, there's an entire month or module devoted to the topic of resilience.
Okay. And how did you change the concept of resilience and apply it in that situation with children in terminal diseases?
The older models of resilience used to teach us that resilience was about bouncing back. It means if you were at this level of functioning and then something difficult happened, after help and with time and intervention, you return to the same level. That's called bouncing back, right? Positive psychology research helps us understand that sometimes that happens, but other times people bounce forward. They bounce to a new level of health, of meaning, of wisdom, of strength, inner strength. And so I noticed that even years ago, way before I had the positive psychology language, there were children who actually became wiser or had an inner sense of control that wasn't present to them before the diagnosis. So we tapped into their
Seriously?
Yes. So a teenager, for example, teenagers are old enough to know what the potential risk is of cancer. And many teenagers I met who were going through chemotherapy or radiation would say, you know what, I have learned I'm not going to waste my time on those friends because they're not really friends. I'm only going to surround myself with people who can love me without hair, or love me when my face is swollen. Lessons that we're still teaching adults, right? Like who to spend time with and who's a waste of time. They got very specific about what they loved, and they did not want to waste time practicing things or signing up for activities that actually were not energizing or life-giving to them. So these are components of resilience that we can teach our colleagues, our family members, our community members today.
Okay.
Let me ask you something. For the listeners here, any topics or any key ways to work on or to build more resilience in our normal daily lives?
So some core perspectives and tools. One is we know that the most resilient of us lead from our character strengths, the qualities in us that are naturally good and energizing and benefit us and those around us. So I know Enrique well enough to know that one of his character strengths is social intelligence. Another one is generosity. Another one is wisdom, right? So Enrique will do best in life and at work when he leads consciously from those strengths. So that's an example. We know that elevating optimism is crucial to elevating resilience. So we practice tools and perspectives that help us both decrease pessimism and decrease rumination, worry and anxiety, and increase a grounded optimism. Third, we know without question, and this we knew long before positive psychology emerged, none of us do well alone in life. Connection makes a positive difference. So in our course, we talk about how to consider what connections are important, how to become stronger within yourself, to invite people who actually can support you and let go of those relationships that don't serve you. We talk about the value and importance of being connected to oneself in a healthy way, using a model called SPIRE, where we examine the spiritual, the physical, the intellectual, the relational, and the emotional aspects of well-being. That brings us back to relationship with ourselves as well as with others. So those are 3 tools and areas of study we will examine, and there are more, but supporting every move toward a better living, whether that means a bit more engagement and passion and meaning at work, or a healthier family, or bringing, life-giving energy into your body. All of that rests on our capacity to become mindful and choose wisely. So throughout the course, we also spend quite a bit of time helping develop tools and practices like journaling, like mindfulness, like reflection, that enable us to pause and then think clearly before we move forward.
Excellent.
Excellent. I heard that you are coming to Brazil. An amazing course. I am very happy. And can you tell us about your expectation with the visit and the places you are going to visit and what this course is about?
Okay, so
okay,
I can talk for a half an hour about what the course is about. Essentially, the course is about whether you're coming because you want to create something new in life, whether you want to reinvigorate yourself and maybe reinvigorate your team, your company, your family, your community, your school system, your children, etc. Or you're coming because life has been challenging and you want more optimism. So we have a wealth of research, tools, and practices that support any of those sort of directions. Coming to Brazil, for me, is an opportunity to embrace a piece of humanity that has only ever brought me and those I know incredible warmth, incredible generosity of spirit, and a kind of wise intelligence about both celebrating life and focusing on what's important. It's impossible to generalize about an entire people, of course, and Brazil is such a gorgeously beautiful, rich, vast country. One of the things that we know about in positive psychology is that there is good in every human being, and anytime I've been connected to Enrique or any of his colleagues or colleagues in the business world from Brazil, what I've witnessed over and over again is the best of humanity in living form. So it doesn't really matter, Thais, where I visit, whether it's Sao Paulo, whether it's, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
Come on, and you take care for.
Yeah, we can't wait to show you.
Yes, for sure.
And if I was able to meet a Brazilian football player, I wouldn't mind that either.
Okay.
We'll try that.
Okay, thank you so much for this interview, and I am very excited for participating in your course. Thank you so much. I will be there, and have a beautiful day. You are waiting for you here in Brazil.
Thank you. I can't wait to come. I promise I'll practice a tiny bit of Portuguese before I come so that I can
You don't need
greet you in the beauty of your own language. And one thing maybe I could say in closing is that we know from having now taught this year-long program in Australia, in Mexico, in California, in the Eastern United States, and then having our graduates bring the program in smaller forms around the globe, we know that this is absolutely life-changing, that it brings every person who is touched by it to a place of greater wisdom about how to move forward in their lives in a direction that elevates their optimism, their appreciation for themselves, and their appreciation from life, and the sense of overall greater satisfaction in their living. I can't wait to be in the conversation with you all.
Okay, thank you.
It's always such a pleasure, and I'm always so thankful for the opportunity to talk to you and to learn from you. And I can't wait to share that with our Brazilian friends here.
Yes.
Very soon.
Very soon, yes.
See you. Bye bye.
Bye bye.
E agora me diz, gostou desse vídeo? Curte, dá um like, faz barulho com ele. E você é uma pessoa resiliente? Eu digo que eu tô aprendendo muito, aprendi muito com essa entrevista. Estou me tornando uma pessoa mais resiliente. Eu espero que você tenha gostado. Gratidão, Maria. Gratidão, Henrique. E vamos lá, vamos trabalhar para ser mais feliz e ter mais resiliência. Um beijo.
Obrigado.